Welcome. I just want to read out some sections from Ivan Illich's Medical Nemesis. This section is on preventative treatment. It's titled Preventative Stigma. And I thought, because of recent events, this was an extremely prescient chapter. So I'm just going to read out these parts. These parts aren't all together. They're kind of separated. So I just picked out the most important, the most relevant parts. So he says, maintenance costs for highly capitalized manpower are the new measure of status for those on the upper rungs. People keep up with the Joneses by emulating their checkups, an English word which has entered French, Serbian, Spanish, Hungarian dictionaries. People are turned into patients without being sick. The medicalization of prevention thus becomes another major symptom of social iatrogenesis. And if you don't know what iatrogenesis is, watch my other videos. It means the harm caused by medical intervention. It tends to transform personal responsibility for my future into management by some agency. In the past, medicine labeled people in two ways: those for whom cures could be attempted, and those for whom were beyond repair, such as lepers, cripples, oddities, and the dying. Either way, diagnosis could lead to stigma. Medicalized prevention now creates a third way. It turns the physician into an officially licensed magician whose prophecies cripple even those who are left unharmed by his bruise. Diagnosis may exclude a human being with bad genes from being born, another from promotion, and he's referring there to the potential to biogenetically observe people's genes and then, abort a fetus or have the baby. Diagnosis may exclude a human being from bad genes from being born, another from promotion, and a third from political life. And finally, this is the most black pilling part. So buckle up. Once a society organizes for a preventative disease hunt, it gives epidemic proportions to diagnosis. The ultimate triumph of the therapeutic culture, and he refers directly there to Philip Reif, turns the independence of the average healthy person into an intolerable form of deviance. In the long run, the main activity of such an inner-directed systems society leads to the phantom production of life expectancy as a commodity. By equating statistical man with biologically unique men, an insatiable demand for finite resources is created. So that part he means by equating biologically real human beings with various metrics and statistics and likelihoods of this disease or that disease, or the potential cost of this treatment or that treatment, and so on. The individual is subordinated to the greater needs of the whole, and he says needs in quotation marks. Preventative procedure becomes compulsory, and the right of the patient to withhold consent to his own treatment vanishes as the doctor argues that he must submit to diagnosis, since society cannot afford the burden of curative procedures that would be even more expensive, save the NHS. So I added in to save the NHS part, but you see the similarity there. So this is an interesting section because it shows you that preventative medicine is very much a it breaks the political power of diagnosis. There's already a political power to diagnose somebody and to say that they are, for example, crazy, so their testimony can't be taken seriously in court, or to exempt them from being punished by the law for doing something, or to exempt them from being able to work in a certain field, and so on and so forth. Now, some of these are obviously just rational and practical, and then there's already a blurry ground between when it's just practical and when it's political. But when you add in the political power of preventative diagnoses, that diagnosis becomes not just something that you can actually empirically observe in an actual person. It becomes like this all-encompassing potentiality of which no one can really escape. And this is I think this is an extremely good little breakdown of that. In particular, when he says that the independence of the average healthy person turns into an intolerable form of deviance. So the healthy person who who is, let's say, outside of the kind of management of the medical authority, through risk analysis and through preventative measures, of which project that if you do this or don't do this or don't take this thing or do take this thing, you will have this much potentiality to become a sick person. Through that through that kind of forward-looking risk analysis, you could basically turn every even healthy average people into a patient, into someone who is subsumed into the medical authority. And I think we've just experienced a few years of exactly that happening. So that's basically it for this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed before. Thank you.